السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له. ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له. ونشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا وحبيبنا وأسوتنا محمدا عبده ورسوله أرسله الله تعالى بالحق بشيرا ونذيرا وداعيا إلى الله بإذنه وسراجا منيرا. وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين وبارك وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا. أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والبدن جعلناها لكم من شعائر الله لكم فيها خير فاذكروا اسم الله عليها صواف فإذا وجبت جنوبها فكلوا منها وأطعموا القانع والمعتر كذلك سخرناها لكم لعلكم تشكرون. لن ينال الله لحومها ولا دماؤها لن ينال الله لحومها ولا دماؤها ولكن يناله التقوى منكم كذلك سخرها لكم لتكبروا الله على ما هداكم وبشر المحسنين. وقال الله جل وعلا ذلك ومن يعظم شعائر الله فإنها من تقوى القلوب. وقال صلى الله عليه وسلم إن الله كتب الإحسان إلى كل شيء فإذا قتلتم فأحسنوا القتلة وإذا ذبحتم فأحسنوا الذبحة وليحد أحدكم شفرته وليرح ذبيحته أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. My dear respected brothers, elders, sisters and dear listeners, first of all praise belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Who has given us the ultimate tawfiq to enter into such a season where we, for once again, are having the opportunity of expressing our submissiveness to Allah. Few things. One is showing the level of submissiveness to Allah. Second thing is that showing greatness towards the sha'air of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What is sha'air? The word sha'air is used for limited amount of things. And wherever the word sha'air has been used, then we have to understand that in Islam, that very amal to which the word sha'air has been attributed, that amal possesses a high level of greatness in Islam. What do we say sha'airul Islam? What does sha'airul Islam mean? What does sha'airullah mean? Sha'airullah, those distinctive actions, those distinctive amal through which we are expressing the reality of Islam, through which we're expressing that we are the true Muslims, we are the true mu'mins, we are the true believers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's what sha'air is. The distinctive signs that we're accepting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as one. Okay, so it said, وَمَن يُعَظِّمْ شَعَائِرَ اللَّهِ وَمَن يُعَظِّمْ شَعَائِرَ اللَّهِ فَإِنَّهَا مِن تَقْوَى الْقُلُوبِ. Those who dignify, or those who express high level of greatness towards the sha'air of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then that very heart will be able to accept piety, accept taqwa. So again, as I said, whichever amal has been mentioned as a sha'air of Islam, that amal carries a great value in the sight of Allah, or an immense level of significance in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And whoever is carrying out those amal, he will also be considered great in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will look at such people with the eyes of mercy, because He is giving respect towards the sha'air of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Inna safa wal marwata min sha'airillah. The Safa and Marwa, they are from the sha'air of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What does that mean? That person who does Umrah and a person who does Hajj, when he does sa'i between, when he does sa'i between Safa and Marwa, what is he doing? He's expressing the sha'air of Allah. So that's why all praise belongs to Allah, that one more time we are being given that opportunity of doing ta'zeem to the sha'air of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let me tell you, my dear brothers and sisters, the word ta'zeem, I'm saying to show greatness, but in fact, the English does not do justice to the word ta'zeem. So let's keep it to the word ta'zeem. That Allah ta'ala has given us an opportunity, the tawfiq, to give ta'zeem to the sha'air of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So similarly, the slaughtering of the animal at Eid-ul Adha has been declared as a sha'air of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَالْبُدْنَ جَعَلْنَاهَا لَكُم مِّن شَعَائِرِ اللَّهِ. Allah Ta'ala is saying, the slaughtering of the animal at Eid-ul Adha, we have made it from the sha'air of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And whoever does amal on this sha'air, Allah saying, lakum fiha khair. Such khair and barakat will come inside your life that you will never be able to imagine. So what's the first thing we have to do? Say the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when slaughtering the animal. فَاذْكُرُوا اسْمَ اللَّهِ عَلَيْهَا صَوَافٍ. Take the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when you intend to slaughter the animal. فَإِذَا وَجَبَتْ جُنُوبُهَا فَكُلُوا مِنْهَا. When you slaughter the animal, you eat from it, because the animal of udhiyah has barakah. So you take the barakah and distribute the barakah with the family and friend, the rich and the poor. وَأَطْعِمُوا الْقَانِعَ وَالْمُعْتَرَ. And then Allah Ta'ala is saying, that لَن يَنَالَ اللَّهَ لُحُومُهَا وَلَا دِمَاؤُهَا وَلَكِنْ يَنَالُهُ التَّقْوَى مِنْكُمْ. That a person cannot reach closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with the meat of the udhiyah or with the blood of the udhiyah. But yes, a person can reach close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when he has taqwa. What does that mean? I said 3 things is wanted from the slaughtering of the animal. First thing is expressing submissiveness to Allah. Second thing, paying ta'zeem to the sha'air of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The third thing is instilling taqwa in the heart. وَلَكِنْ يَنَالُهُ تَقْوَى مِنْكُمْ. What is taqwa? That having that firm intention that I will lead my life on the amr of Allah. And what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prohibited me from, I will stay away from it. Completely I will abandon it. I will eradicate that from my life. You see, the 9th of Arafah is coming in on Monday. 9th of Arafah, from after Maghrib onwards, for 72 hours, after every salah we have to recite takbir, isn't it? Huh? We men will recite loudly. The woman will recite lowly. Yes? What are the words of takbir? Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Walillahi alhamd. Why do we recite this takbir? Fuqaha mentioned, Mufassirin mentioned that one of the prime reasons that we are expressing the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Well, because Allahu Akbar means that we are expressing that Allah is the greatest, isn't it? No other greatness can dominate the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's what we are telling, that's what we are expressing with our tongue when we are saying Allahu Akbar, right or not? So one of the reasons our fuqaha mentioned that we express takbir is because Allah is great. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was merciful enough to give me the tawfiq to slaughter the animal at Eid-ul. It wasn't me. If I have this thing that I have the money, I've got the money, I have enough saving to buy a cow, buy a goat, buy a camel, then I am wrong. This Allahu Akbar is there to negate my ability. It's not my ability. Allah has given me the ability. First thing I have to do. Okay? Whoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given the tawfiq, whoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given enough so that he can slaughter the animal, either he's doing it here or either he's doing it overseas, either the qurban that he will give will benefit the poor. And subhanAllah, most of our brothers are also giving qurban in Gaza and Palestine. Okay? It should not even touch the heart that because I have enough money, that's why I have the ability to help the people of Gaza. This shouldn't touch my heart at all. This Allahu Akbar is the negation to, it's Allah that has given you the tawfiq, not you. It's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that has given you the tawfiq to give ta'zeem to the sha'air of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You did not have any capability from your own side. It's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. كَذَلِكَ سَخَّرَهَا لَكُمْ لِتُكَبِّرُوا اللَّهَ عَلَى مَا هَدَاكُمْ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala سَخَّرَهَا لَكُمْ has given this animal to me so that I can slaughter it. And along with that, I say takbir. لِتُكَبِّرُوا اللَّهَ. That I can continue to say takbir, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has guided me to give ta'zeem to the sha'air of Allah. And this is why for continuous 72 hours, I have to recite the takbir. Okay? By this, I'm trying to negate my ability, and I'm affirming the ability of who? Allah. I'm affirming the ability of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I'm negating my ability. That's why it's wajib. It's wajib, we as men, we recite takbir loudly. That's why you will see the Imam from Monday after Maghrib onwards, he will start saying Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah. This is what Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam showed. He showed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ya Allah, regardless of how difficult fulfilling your command is or not, I am ready to fulfill your command. If my sacrificing the animal gets me more close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, gives me the full strength to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at every circumstance, then I can remember that my udhiyah has been accepted. Otherwise, if I'm the same as before, if I'm still not submissive to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or if my submissiveness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't improve at all, then I have to understand, when they say dal mein kuch kala hai, something is wrong and my udhiyah has not been accepted. See, my dear brothers, we're spending money behind it, isn't it? And we all know how hard is it to earn money. And then we'll be buying our udhiyah. And we'll be slaughtering the udhiyah. But if we see at Qiyamah that my udhiyah has not been accepted, how sad will we feel? Because it's very tough to earn, isn't it? So that's why if we want our udhiyah to get accepted, I have to improve my taqwa. Okay? Along with the slaughtering of the udhiyah, I need to slaughter the love of dunya. I need to develop in my heart the love of akhirah. Ad-dunya khuliqat lakum wa antum khuliqtum lil akhirah. Dunya has been created for you, and you have been created for akhirah. So here's the first thing, fixing our intention. That Allah has given me the tawfiq. That Allah has guided me to this. And those, due to poverty, who didn't get the chance to do it, we make dua for them that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala one day gives them the tawfiq as well. Okay, I'll not go into much detail. Coming to the masail now. Will not take much time, inshallah. So see, my dear brothers, the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the tawfiq to do the udhiyah. So first of all, we need to know a few masail related to it. We'll discuss certain masail, and wherever there's Q&A, inshallah, if brothers have any question, inshallah, they can ask the question and we'll try to answer it, inshallah, to our best of capability. So that's first thing. Second thing is, see, udhiyah is a wajib act. For those who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given that enough savings or enough cash, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given that enough richness so that he can buy an udhiyah animal. Okay, so for such people it's wajib for him. But for that he has to be a Muslim, he has to be a free person, he has to be a sane person. Okay, and then he has to be a person not a musafir. So, and he has to be a rich person. So Muslim, free, sane, rich, have enough money to do the udhiyah, and he has to be muqim. He should not being a musafir basically. He's in his area, he has the ability to do the udhiyah. So when these 5 things are found inside a person, then udhiyah is wajib on him. Okay. In fact, you see, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has given severe warning against those who have the ability to do the udhiyah, but he doesn't do it. Man wajada sa'atan falam yudahhi fala yaqrubanna musallana. Whoever has the ability to do the udhiyah, but he doesn't do it, he doesn't slaughter, the Rasul Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam said he shouldn't even come to the field to pray Eid prayer. In other words, his Eid prayer is not going to be accepted. He has the ability to give ta'zeem to the sha'air of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but yet he refuses to. So that's why, my dear brothers, whoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the ability, we try to do it. So that's the first thing. And second thing is that which animals we use for udhiyah. Okay, very simple. We use goat, sheep, we use cow, and we use camel. These 3 animals are valid for the udhiyah. Okay, and udhiyah, the time of udhiyah starts from Salatul Fajr time at the day of Eid. Okay, with this 10th of Dhul Hijjah, the day of Nahr. From then onwards, we should continue to. From then onwards, the time of udhiyah starts. But we have to conclude Salatul Eid. Once Salatul Eid is concluded, then I can start slaughtering my animal. But for a place where there is no Salatul Eid, like village area, for them as soon as the Fajr time enters, they can start. Okay, now over here one question arises. I mean, it's a very famous question. Last 1 week, brothers and sisters are asking me this question. And especially because country like Bangladesh is doing Eid 1 day before us, isn't it? And I think most of you have this question. We'll answer it right now. Okay? And the question is, that for us who are giving Qurbani overseas, who are giving in Bangladesh or other countries that are doing 1 day before us, how should we do it? Brothers, keep in mind, okay? Keep in mind, the mas'ala over here is, you have to see where the animal is celebrating the Eid, not me. Okay? Not where I am celebrating the Eid, where the animal is celebrating the Eid. That is what is taken into consideration, the fuqaha have mentioned. Okay? The place where the animal is located, where my slaughtering animal is located, as soon as Eid Salah has been concluded there, the animals can be slaughtered. Okay? And my slaughtering is accepted. So it doesn't have, there is no obligation such like that. Did the owner of the animal pray Eid Salah or not? There is no such obligation like that. Okay? So if, for example, in Bangladesh, Eid is on Monday. Over here, Eid is on Tuesday. So Monday, once Eid Salah is prayed, immediately after Eid Salah, my animal can be slaughtered. Question arises, when can I start cutting my nails and hair? I can cut my hair and nail once I finish my Eid Salah. As soon as I finish my Eid Salah, I'm welcome to cut it. But my animal can be slaughtered. Even if I didn't pray Eid Salah, I'm in a different country. So even if I didn't pray Eid Salah, my animal can be slaughtered. And that slaughtering is valid. There's no obligation like that where the owner has prayed Eid Salah or not. There's no such thing as that. Okay? There is safer opinion, okay, if I want to delay it, but see, the sunnah is to do it as quick as possible. So if we want to act on the sunnah, inshallah, on Monday, those who are doing it in Bangladesh and other countries, they can do it, inshallah. Okay? This was a famous question. Last a week, people have been asking this question. So alhamdulillah, hopefully everybody got the answer. So for me, I will cut my hair, I'll clip my nails once I finish my salah. Okay? And for camel and cow, I can do it in shares, but I can't do that in sheep and goat at all. Sheep, goat, ram, these animals, they're accepted for qurbani, but there's no room for sharing there. I have to do it individually. But when it comes to camel and when it comes to cow, I'm bound to share. I mean, I can put it in share. 7, but the condition is every single of them have to intend qurbani. Okay. So if there's 7 people sharing a cow, 7 people need to intend that they are doing qurbani and qurbani for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and their share is on the cow for the qurbani. If anyone is like no intention of qurbani, just wants a share of meat, and if one person is found like that, then that share is not valid. I have to make sure whoever I'm taking in my share, in Bangladesh bhage qurbani, whoever I'm going to be taking in my share, I have to make sure all of them have the intention to do qurbani at Eid-ul. Okay? And then you see, most of us will make the mistake in slaughtering, see? And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us. Before I come into the masala of the slaughtering, first I have to make sure that my knife is sharp enough to slaughter the animal. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has forbidden us completely to give trouble to the animals. Okay? So I have to make sure that the night, at least by the Eid night, my knife is sharp enough to run on the neck of the animal. My dear brothers, this is a very big mistake we do. Most of the time we do. Okay? Then at the end we put our knife on the neck of the animal and the animal is feeling pain. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said no. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in hadith of Muslim, Inna Allah kataba al-ihsana ila kulli shay. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prescribed the quality of ihsan at everything. At every aspect of ibadah, there's quality of ihsan in it. So the way there's quality of ihsan in the ibadah, and what is ihsan? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam answered when Jibreel asked, Ya Rasulullah, man ihsan? أخبرني ما الإحسان. Tell me what's ihsan. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, أن تعبد الله كأنك تراه فإن لم تكن تراه فإنه يراك. So we worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as if we are seeing Him. And if not, then at least Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is seeing me. So my dear brothers, this slaughtering of the animal is not only a mere ibadah, it's a big ibadah. Okay? Some ulama, let me tell you one thing, some fuqaha, they mention that after the 5 rukun of Islam, if there is any amal that holds a great value in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is the slaughtering. First of all is kalima, salah, zakat, fasting of Ramadan and Hajj, isn't it? After the 5 pillars, if there is any amal that carries out a great value in the sight of Allah, is this udhiyah. So imagine how great this ibadah is. Why? Because as I said, it's part of the sha'air of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So also there's quality of ihsan over here as well. So when I'm doing this ibadah as well, I have to keep in mind Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching me. Whether I'm giving the trouble to the animal or not, Allah is watching me, my dear brothers. That's why I have to eat. Though fuqaha mentioned it, mustahab, they start with, it's wajib. It's wajib that I sharpen my knife. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, فَإِذَا قَتَلْتُمْ فَأَحْسِنُوا الْقِتْلَةِ. When you kill, then express the quality of ihsan when you're killing. وَإِذَا ذَبَحْتُمْ. When you're slaughtering the animal, then make sure you express the quality of ihsan in slaughtering. What is the quality of ihsan in slaughtering? وَلْيُحِدَّ أَحَدُكُمْ شَفْرَتَهُ وَلْيُرِحْ ذَبِيحَتَهُ. So there's 2 things. How do you express the quality of ihsan when slaughtering the animal? Make the knife sharp enough to run on the neck of the animal. Make the knife sharp enough. Why? وَلْيُرِحْ ذَبِيحَتَهُ. You should give ease and comfort to your slaughtering animal. Okay? This animal, look, this animal will be a means of barakah, isn't it? This animal will be a means of me getting close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then if I'm causing pain to this animal, then how this animal will get me close to Allah? Because وَلَكِنْ يَنَالُهُ التَّقْوَى مِنكُمْ. So that's why, my dear brothers, if we're doing overseas, make sure we give this instruction, because it's my qurbani. We don't know if next year we're going to get the qurbani Eid or not, isn't it? We don't know if next year we're going to get Eid-ul Adha or not. So for those who are doing overseas, give this clear instruction, my dear brothers and sisters, to make sure the knife is sharp enough. This is something very important and very emphasized point. Knife should be sharp enough to slaughter the animal, that immediately when it goes on the neck of the animal, it's enough to cut the veins. Okay? Not that, subhanAllah, we saw in our madrasa life, Allah Ta'ala forgive our madrasa boys, who they continue to run the knife, 10 times, 11 times, 12 times, and still, subhanAllah, there's no, the animal not being slaughtered.
The cow started running.
Yes. May Allah Ta'ala forgive us. You see, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam condemned the people. In the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, you see, there's a riwayah in Tabrani. Hadith ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Okay? Okay, so one should not do this mistake, making the animal lie on the ground and then I'm busy sharpening the sword. Okay? Or sharpening my knife. So, this hadith is in Tabrani. That a man, hadith of Ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he made the sheep lie down. Or the goat lie down. And while he made the goat lie down, and then he's sharpening the knife. It comes in another narration. There's 2 narrations in this hadith. It comes in another narration. He was stepping on the stomach of the sheep. Okay? He was stepping hard on the stomach of the sheep. وَاضِعٌ رِجْلَهُ عَلَى صَفْحَةِ شَاةٍ. He was stepping on the stomach of the sheep, and he's busy slaughtering. He's busy sharpening the knife. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam saw this and got so angry. He said, أَوَ تُرِيدُ أَن تُمِيتَهَا مَوْتًا أَفَلَا قَبْلَ هَذَا. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam condemned this guy, saying, warn this guy. He said, couldn't you sharpen your knife before this? Do you want to give this many deaths? And then Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said that before I intend, at least in the Eid night, I should make sure that I make my knife sharp enough so that I can slaughter the animal. Okay, now my dear brothers, to get my slaughter valid, what should I do? First thing is taking the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If by purpose, if I don't take the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this slaughter is maitah and this cannot be eaten, and my udhiyah is not going to be accepted. That's why fi'l is amr. Allah ta'ala commanded us. فَاذْكُرُوا اسْمَ اللَّهِ عَلَيْهَا صَوَافٍ. That when you intend to slaughter an animal, first you take the name of Allah. Bismillahi, Allahu Akbar. And then on contrary to that, Nahi. وَلَا تَأْكُلُوا مِمَّا لَمْ يُذْكَرِ اسْمُ اللَّهِ عَلَيْهِ. Don't eat that animal on which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's name is not mentioned. So according to Hanafi madhab, okay, if I leave it intentionally, then it's not accepted. If it's unintentionally and forgetfully, then that's different. But you see, according to Imam Malik rahmatullah alayhi, the animal is haram in both aspects. Okay? This is madhab of Imam Malik rahimahullah ta'ala. That whether I forget to mention the name or not, both are same, and the animal is maita according to Imam Malik rahimahullah. But according to the Hanafi school of thought, even if I forget, then that's fine, because insan can forget sometimes. Manush matore bhul kore, that's different. Okay? But if it's deliberately, then the animal is maita, that animal cannot be eaten, and I have to repeat my slaughter as well. My slaughter is not going to be accepted. That's why I need to make sure that the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, before I run the knife on my animal, the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is being taken. Okay, that's first thing. Second thing, my dear brothers, I have to make sure that the four main veins in the animal, that is cut off. Once I am sure that the veins are cut off, I take the knife away. I don't wait to chop the head, because chopping the head is makruh tahrimi. Udhiyah will be valid. Okay? Talk about that. If I separate the head from the animal, if I sever the head, okay, my udhiyah is valid, but it's makruh tahrimi. I should completely avoid it. I should continue to run my knife till I make sure that the four veins have been cut off. What are the four veins? First of all is hulqum. What is hulqum? Hulqum is that pipe which is used for breathing. Okay? Windpipe. The breathing pipe. Second is al-mari. Mari means the food pipe. So first of all is the pipe that the animal uses to breathe with. Secondly is the pipe the animal uses to consume food and drink. Okay. Then the two jugular veins. I'm repeating this one more time. The pipe used for breathing. The pipe used for food and drink. Windpipe, food pipe, and the two jugular veins. These four of them, I should make sure, okay, that I cut them off completely. These four veins are to be cut off when I'm slaughtering the animal, and then my animal will be halal. That's a halal way of slaughtering the animal. Okay? And I have to make sure it's from the front part of the neck. Okay? If I am doing it from the back part of the neck, that's also makruh tahrim. Udhiyah will be valid. We call it nape, isn't it? From the nape, if someone slaughters the animal from the nape, right, udhiyah is valid, jabai hoye jabe. Udhiyah is valid, but it's makruh tahrim, I should avoid it. That's why from here, from the front of the neck, I have to do it. Okay, so again I'm repeating, the windpipe, the food pipe, okay, and the two jugular veins. So my dear brothers, so that's one thing. And you see, it doesn't really, and the slaughtering instrument doesn't have to be knife, anything that is sharp enough to run on the veins. Sharp enough. Main thing, I have to make sure that am I hurting the animal or not. Okay? That's why brothers, please, those who are doing qurbani overseas, those who are giving it in our villages, please keep in track of the knife that is being slaughtered. Because any type of pain the animal will be getting, the sin will be on. Okay? Because one must sharpen the knife. One must give ease and comfort to the animal. One must do it. These two things are wajib on me. I am obligated to do this. That's why please make sure of the knife, make sure the knife that is going to be used to slaughter the animal, the knife is sharp enough that immediately it's enough to cut the veins. And then you see those who are hujjaj, they're the only ones that have the ability to slaughter camel. I don't know most of us if we're slaughtering camel here or not. Most of us are doing either goat or either cow or either sheep. For us, we do the dhabah. So dhabah is cutting the animal, okay, or slaughtering the animal from the top of the neck. And nahar, there's another word, nahar. Nahar is slaughtering animal from the down part of the neck. So that is done only for the camel. So if I do vice versa, that's fine, but it's makruh. If someone does nahar to the cow, goat or sheep, udhiyah is valid, but it's makruh. Nahar is from the chest part, starting doing the slaughter. So that's only for the camel. But for the cow, goat and sheep, for that, I should do the dhabah. Dhabah is slaughtering from the upper part of the neck, from here. Slaughtering the upper part of the neck, that is called dhabh. And then also, another question, so what's the period of me slaughtering the animal? First of all, the 10th of Dhul Hijjah and the 2 days after. So 10th of Dhul Hijjah, 11th of Dhul Hijjah, and the 12th of Dhul Hijjah. So as soon as the sun sets from the 12th of Dhul Hijjah, then the time has been disappeared. Best is to do it in the first day. That's what I'm saying. Those who are doing it overseas on Monday, you're welcome. Welcome to slaughter animal. Because that's the best day and that's sunnah. Okay? As I said, what's taken into consideration is where the animal is celebrating the Eid, not where am I celebrating the Eid. Okay? So that's why, because Afdal is the first day, then the second day, then the third day. So 12th of Dhul Hijjah, once the sunset has been done, Maghrib time has come inside, then I cannot slaughter that animal. Okay, and the question arises that are we allowed to do in the night of Udhiyah? Okay, in these 3 days, can we do it in the night? We can do it in the night, but because because night dark and there will be confusion whether I have cut all the veins or not. So that's why ulama mentioned it's makruh. Okay. So which animals we are not allowed to do it? Okay, because for example, from those camel and the sheep and the goat or the cow, so which animals we should avoid? So first of all is la yudaha bil amya. So blind animal is not valid for udhiyah. Wal awra, one-eyed animal, not valid for udhiyah. Wal arja, lame animal. And like lame to this much that does not have the ability to walk itself. Okay? So these type of lame animals also not allowed. Ajfa. Okay, the animal who are ajfa. Ajfa is so thin that the marrow, the mukh, the brain is visible. So that level of skinny animal is also not valid as well. The animal whose tails are cut off, whose ears are cut off, or most of the ears is cut off, or most of the tail is cut off. Okay, that's also not valid. Rest, hornless animal, castrated animal, mad animal, animals with scabies, that's fine. That's not an issue. And also regarding the age. Yeah, regarding the age of the animal. So for sheep, goat, cow and camel. So for a sheep and goat, once it's 1 year old, then we can start, okay? So the age also comes into consideration, which they call in Arabic thani. So thani of a cow is 2 years old, for a sheep and goat is 1 year old, and for a camel is 5 years old. So for sheep and goat, for its validity for being slaughtered, it has to be 1 year old. For a cow, it has to be 2 years old. For a camel, it has to be 5 years old. Okay? But fuqaha mentioned for sheep and ram, which we say kabsh and dumba in other languages, Bangla and Urdu. For dumba and sheep, 6 months is also fine as well. And then after that, for the skin, is better. You can give it. The best thing you can do is you can give sadaqah of the skin, or you can keep it with you to make different instruments of the house. That's also not an issue. And so many people they ask that what do you do with the meat of the udhiyah? Initially, in the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was وَأَطْعِمُ الْبَائِسَ الْفَقِيرِ. Okay, that once you slaughter the animal, you give all the animal to the poor people. But then it comes وَأَطْعِمُ الْقَانِعَ وَالْمُعْتَرِ, that you can feed anyone. You can feed the rich, you can feed the poor, you can feed it in your family members as well. You can make a feast with it. That's fine as well. And it's better. It's better to give sadaqah 1/3 of it, and the rest of it, inshallah, you can give to the poor. You can give to the rich ones. Okay, because as I said, the Eid-ul Adha, okay, the Eid-ul Adha meat has barakah inside it. So I can consume it myself, and I can feed to my family members, and I can give to the rich, and I can give to the poor ones as well. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us a tawfiq, inshallah. So ultimately we all want is the acceptance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala regarding the regarding Eid-ul Adha. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepted inshallah. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
Allahumma amin.